Oh, look, I want to talk about this real quick, this no jumper versus Fig Community World thing, right? Because it's so interesting to me. And I normally don't talk about like what I'm like the other podcasts and stuff that I'm entertained by mostly. But the biggest thing that I've been into right now has been Fig Community World, back on Fig Community, Truth in the Let the Record Reflect with the Apollo. Like, this is shame on you. This is what I've been on. This is the world that I've been like consuming lately. It's just good entertainment. It's funny. Like, these is all funny people to me. Very, very funny. It's like comedy. None of these people are comedians, but Duno, but it's very funny to me. Like, this, all these shows is hilarious to me, right? But one of the biggest stories going on right now on the West Coast in the media is No Jumper versus Fig Community World, right? And the reason is because if you don't know what's going on with this, the people at Fig Community World, which would be AD, T-Rail, Duno, Pun, were working with No Jumper last year, right? Or earlier this year, right? They was working with No Jumper. AD, T-Rail, and Duno was actually on a show. They had a show called At the End of the Day. Some things happened. Adam did something to AD that AD didn't like, so they all broke off, left, started their own company called Fig Community World, FMW, right? And that is AD, T-Rail, Pun, Duno, and Smack. That's Fig Community World, like the head people. And then they got a bunch of people that they work with. Now it's considered an umbrella where you got a bunch of stuff going on, right? Like a conglomerate. This is really like a media conglomerate being built right now, right? They have a collection of shows under what they call the umbrella. So Fig Community World, the actual page on YouTube has Shame on You, which is like the anchor podcast that they do every Wednesday. Then they have a show called We Starving. Then they got a sports show called We Starving is a food show where they go to restaurants, test out the food. Then they have Numbers on the Board, like their new sports show that they testing out right now. And they do the news. They do Fig Community World News 2 days a week, right? So they got some good content coming out. But then they also have shows on their own platforms, but they also consider that to be under the umbrella. So you got Back on Fig, right? Back on Fig is T-Rail, Smack, and Heather, and MacWap too most times, right? Then you have Community, which is AD, Pun, Ace Boy Trey, Illa, and Hove on Thursdays. And you have Ace Boys Worldwide, which is Pun, Ace Boy Pun, Ace Boy Trey, Ace Boy Manny, Ace Boy Rios, and then Illa. A lot of times they have Ladies Night, which is Illa, Barbie, Auntie, and Worm sometimes. They have Let Me Cook, which is like making the biggest splashes right now. Then you also have like a satellite show, which is kind of under the umbrella, but it's not really, but it's kind of Apollo with MacWap, Keem, Tiny, and TF, right? So am I missing anything? Then you got Keem with Truth in the Details. Like, it's all, and you have, which is not really on the umbrella, but it's, what's the show called with The Congregation with Tiny and Drebo. But anyway, so I'm fully, I don't watch all these shows, but I'm fully like aware of what's going on, right? I watch a lot of it. I don't watch everything, but I'm aware, right? So essentially, when the FMW dudes that was on At the End of the Day, T-Rail, AD, Duno, when they left No Jumper, it was pretty much like a soft beef, like kind of a beef, but it was like a cold war at first. They was like throwing little shots at each other, little subliminal stuff. There was some No Jumper stuff at the shows back in March or May, whenever that was. I think it was May. They were saying T-Rail went out just out of nowhere, just like No Jumper. So then things got a little bit tense for a little bit. Then the FMW dudes, back T-Rail and them, they stopped saying anything, and then Adam started just going in on them, right? Started going in on them a lot, bombing on them, just saying whatever, saying all type of stuff. And then you come recently, they beefing and all that. People who care about this, they know what's going on. So essentially, it came to a head this week where Ace Boy Pun and the crew that he was with this day, Ace Boy Pun, Trey, Hove, Mark Nasty, all that, like, they ran into somebody that was up at No Jumper while Adam was talking crazy. And they approached him. And this guy is actually a major clothing designer out of LA, right? Name is Desto Dub. Awful lot of cough syrup. If y'all seen rappers wearing this stuff, like his stuff is big. He doing his thing out there in LA, right? And actually, he about to put this puffer coat out. I want that joint. I gotta see how much it costs though. I ain't just about to blow a bag on if it's a crazy price. But I like the way it looked though. But so they run into Desto Dub. Pretty much it run into, they pressed him. He got scared, pretty much like he was shook. He was pretty much out of there. He didn't want to talk. He was backpedaling, like pleading, copping pleas, all that. He like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, I'm a businessman. I'm not in that. Like, leave me out of it. So pressed him. Some fan recorded it, so we all got to see it. It looked kind of bad, right? So then after that, Adam pretty much did a whole live show with Whack 100 where he waved the white flag. He said, I don't want nothing else to do with this. I want to stop it. I don't want to go where this is about to go. I'm hearing stories about where this can go with these organizations, which he pretty mean gangs, where this can go out here. And I don't want it to go there. And I know that I'm going to just take responsibility because I'm going to be blamed for it wherever it goes. So I don't even want, like, please stop. I'm waving a white flag. Adam said, F that. But I do want people to understand, like, so people who care about this already know that. What I wanted to really talk about was, who is Fig Unity World? Like, who are these people? And I want people to understand that the reason that what they're doing to me is so significant, because these guys who ended up getting into podcasting and doing streaming and all this type of media stuff, this is a rare occurrence for what's going on. Like, they keep on calling themselves like the West Coast version of this, but I think they are not giving themselves enough credit. These dudes are the first of their kind pretty much anywhere in the country. They're starting a media conglomerate of all people who are former muscle in the music industry. That's who they are. Like, if you don't realize who they are, this is just a whole group of just that, like, when they like, oh, y'all better check in when y'all come to LA. These are the people that people check in with. But they don't talk like that on their podcast. They joke, they have fun, stuff like that. They talk about girls and fashion and money, and not money, but fashion and business and just they hot topics, all that. They don't like tell old war stories. So a lot of people I don't think realize who they are. And I don't think Adam realized who they was, because he just see them joking all the time. And he just think like, oh, I can play with them because they play all the time. So I'm going to play with them. He not realize these are the people that when people come to LA and they need favors and they need somebody to come with them and protect them and all that, these are the people that they call. Like when you hear about stuff happening in the streets and somebody got robbed and somebody that had to get their chain back, I'm not even being like figurative. These are literally the people getting people's chains back. These are literally the people helping people defend themselves when they come to LA, or making sure that they're safe, making sure the gangs don't beat them up and all that. That's literally who these people are. The muscle so if you like AD and his homies is like the muscle around and behind OT Genesis, right? T-Rail and his homies was like the muscle behind Tyga for 10 years, right? And so the muscle behind Tyga, right? Made it so that Tyga could move around all the time. Like Ace Boy Pun, they have been the muscle for like producers and other people like that, like they done beat up people all over the industry because of making sure that stuff was being regulated out there, right? Hove is AD's big homie. TF, Tiny, these is like these people, Mac Wop and his people, and not to say that he's the muscle for Kendrick Lamar, but he's one of his background. He's a DJ now, but his background is Compton, street, behind Kendrick Lamar, right? This is a whole collection of people who are the people that get called when the rappers say, hey, I got a problem, I need help. This whole Fig Unity World, from like top to bottom, is all them niggas. Just a bunch of muscle. That's all they is. That's not all they is. They business people. But I'm saying that's pretty much all of them got the background in that. So when Adam is playing with them, he's thinking like he's going to play with them the way academics plays with rappers. Right? That's what he's thinking, because he's not really, even though he's been in LA for a decade and all this, like he's still not really understanding who he had in his building with him. And they looking at Adam like, how you playing with it? Like they looking at Adam like, I can't even believe you playing with us like that. We was playing, but you trying to take it somewhere else. He calling T-Rail's wife a prostitute. He telling Pun, you a baked potato. You not really like that. Come to my store. My man's got the Smith & Wesson. He talking crazy to these people. And they was playing at first. And now they like, yo, you really threatening us. You really telling us that see you in the streets and you gonna have your security do X, Y, Z. Like so they took it somewhere else because, like I said, these aren't, because their background is in that type of activity. They don't want that reputation no more. They want the reputation of we're legit media people now. A lot of them talk about it like it's embarrassing, some of the stories that they have. They don't even want to talk about them because they like, yo, why was I doing that? Like they feeling like, damn, we done pressed and beat up people. Like these people done been into it with Ice Cube. And it's like they looking at it like, yo, this is like embarrassing stories now, looking back at what they used to be doing to people. That's who this man found himself in a beef with. And he realized quickly that I have to wave the white flag. This whole crew is represented by like some of the most respected gangs in the West Coast. You talking about Five Deuce Hoovers, 5-1 Troubles, Compton Crips, Southside Crips in the Lantana Block. You talking about Compton Pyrus. You talking about like I'm just talking about all in that crew. That's who these people are. Just one insane Crips. Just big melting pot of that. So you could imagine that Adam found out quickly after that Desto Dub thing, oh, these people are not safe to play with. I don't want this to go anywhere. They know where I live. They know what my wife looks like. They know what my kids look like. They know where my businesses are. I don't want to do this no more. I'm out. Wave the wife. I'm done with this one. Nope. And I think that's best. And I also want to say, shout out to Pun and them for not doing nothing to that black man over stuff that white man was saying. Even though, yeah, Desto Dub probably was laughing at some of the jokes and saying little stuff, but he didn't do nothing bad enough to where he got to inherit Adam's beef like that. So y'all did press him. That's cool. Like y'all didn't cross no lines, I don't think. But I'm glad y'all didn't do nothing to him. I hope y'all don't do nothing to Brick Baby, because I don't like Brick Baby is really just standing his ground. I don't think he really is saying like he want to see y'all. He not really praying to see y'all. He was saying, I pray somebody play with me like that, meaning not y'all, but just in general. I don't think that, I hope they don't run into each other. Brick Baby is representing the 60s and all that. Like, I don't think that, to me, that would be whack. That would make it all the way whack. Then it's like y'all might as well go back and work for ADAM22. If y'all gonna start fighting black men over something Adam said, y'all might as well go back to No Jumper and be with them, because y'all representing what he representing. Now, you're gonna tear down black people because of something white people said. Like you might as well go. So as long as y'all like keep it like you know what I'm saying, don't violate no black people because of him. Now if he do something bad enough to where y'all feel like y'all gotta get him, that's different. But like, come on. Y'all beef is with that white man. Stick to the white man. Stay on him. I can't tell y'all what to do. You do what you want. But I'm just saying, though, like, you know, stay on that man. Run him out of L.A. You understand? Because I feel like if he was black, he would have been dead by now talking the way he was talking. So he even though he waved a white flag, I don't think the pressure need to stop. Honestly. Niggas be like, oh, I don't want to do, he gonna call he gonna call the police on me. I ain't gonna know. He gonna put me in jail. How come nobody ever be worried about going to jail when it come to hurting a black man though? Because you're gonna go to jail for killing a black person too. But I don't be stopping nobody. They still go do it. Like, I'm gonna just do the time. Well, do that to white people too then. Come on, man. Not just any white person, but ones that's violating, telling you got the Smith & Wesson for you and all that. That's a threat. Desto Dub ain't threatened nobody. And y'all, it took 48 hours to see him. So, yeah, man, get at that man, y'all.